Hello, today we'll be looking at another ECDIS ACAT course in full from start to finish, and today we'll be looking at the JRC Jan 2000/701/901 course. Okay, let's begin. So if we scroll down to the first module here, it's the introduction. Let's wait for that to load, and click on the first slide rather. Okay. So welcome to your annual competency assessment in your knowledge of ECDIS. This course is designed to test your knowledge of your system regardless of what training you may have previously received. Once you have completed each slide, you will need to click the button at the bottom left of the screen saying mark complete to move forward onto the next slide. As you can see here, that's now saying mark complete. So we go on to the next slide. ECDIS ACAT about this course. During the course, it is important to remember that we are not teaching you how to navigate using ECDIS, nor does this replace all the other ECDIS training you need. We are assessing you that you know all the key menus on your ship-specific ECDIS in order to navigate safely. Therefore, we are assuming that you have basic navigation knowledge in accordance with STCW qualifications and have been using ECDIS your ECDIS for some time. ECDIS ACAT, your examination. The results of this course are monitored by your ship manager or operator. Therefore, prior to attempting to answer the questions at the end of each module, ensure you know the right answer. Don't guess, refer to your ECDIS on board if you need to. A wrong answer is recorded even if later on you get the answer right. Your results are monitored, as this is the evidence and proof that you know how to use your equipment, and regardless of what training you may have received. You have been warned. Okay. ECDIS ACAT, how to complete this course successfully. Ideally, you are conducting this ACAT near your actual ECDIS equipment, as it will aid you when reviewing the key menus highlighted in the modules. See an example of a hotspot below. You'll find quite a few of these throughout the course. Just hover over it, simple as that, and it says, yeah, this one says example hotspot. I'll scroll down. Take your time, as these menus are highlighted for a reason. During the test questions, you will need to know where they are instinctively. Mark complete. In the future, I should say. And when you go back and review any of these slides throughout the whole course, you won't have to click complete. You actually just go backwards and forwards throughout them. ECDIS ACAT, navigating through the ACAT. The below modules are covered through this course. Familiarisation, navigational tools, route planning, route monitoring and chart updating. You'll need to go through each module and each part in the correct order. After completing each module, you can go back again prior to the tests. Remember, your answers, right or wrong, are recorded as the evidence that you know your make and model instinctively. Keep guessing on all questions and you'll eventually receive your certificate, but this is monitored by your manager and he or she will be aware that you're struggling with your practical knowledge of ECDIS. Good luck, and please proceed to Module 1, Familiarisation. Okay, so we are at Familiarisation. If we just now click on the first slide, Main Display Introduction. It is necessary for you to become familiar with the operation of the ECDIS set, particularly with the basic navigation functions, menu structure and important navigational functions. Take your time reviewing the hotspots on the ACAT and then on your system reviewing the key menus. Refresh yourselves on the basics first. Do not power down by simply turning off at the plug. That could lead to loss of data and the possibility that the system may not restart. It may also cause disk fragmentation and cause the system to run slower, such as the below example of a fragmented hard drive. Has your ECDIS appeared to slow down over time? Okay, slide 1, main display. Hover over hotspots to learn more. Got main menus, and then sensor indicator, ship position, center display on ship, range / scale selection display, chart presentation options, free, true, relative motion, north up and course up, cursor information, and track control system bar. So as again, we can hop onto the actual ECDIS system at this point just to go away and check that that all correlates with our own systems and to sort of familiarise ourselves with that. Okay, so now we're actually taking a look at that live JRC system. We're just going to refresh ourselves on the main display options. So first off, we've got the main menus along the top here. Then we've got sensor indicators. this general area here. Then the ship position, it's along there. Then we've got the center display on ship down here. Range stroke scale selection display. I'm going to drop down there. Chart presentation options. Again, a little drop down there. Cursor information. That's that area there. And then, great, yeah, well, now we'll go back to the course. Okay, slide 2, the compilation scale introduction. The scale of the data contained in the cell is dependent upon the navigational purpose, e.g. overview, general, coastal, approach, harbour and berthing. For example, chart GB 50202, GB equals authorised HO, 6 equals berthing, 5 is harbour, 4 is approach, 3 is coastal, 2 is general and 1 is overview. 0202, the individual cell number. As the above example shows that when we come to turn layers on and off, we need to first ensure that we understand what scale of chart we are on. The below example shows that usage bands vary, but the most important element is that you understand you are on the correct scale, the best available, and now can configure the layers of ENC overlays correctly. Okay, slide 2, compilation scale, part 1 of 2. And got a couple of little hotspots down here. We've got, as you can see, these areas have been highlighted with the red boxes, so those are all the areas we need to be focusing on when looking at our ECDIS system. Got one, zoom out, stroke smaller scale, zoom in, stroke larger scale, and chart warnings indicate display not at compilation scale. It's very important to be actually, I say, cross-referencing this with your actual ECDIS system. JRC chart selection introduction. It is important to understand that in the main, the world has not been resurveyed for the compilation of ENC charts. It is paramount that you understand the reliability of your chart, which may have been surveyed many years ago, albeit recently issued as an ENC. You need to ensure that you can access the ENC layers and in particular be able to review CAT stocks and understand their importance. Each of these introduction slides really are a kind of an overview of what it is you're actually going to be learning next, so do pay attention to them when reading through. Okay, slide 3, chart selection 2 of 2. I don't think we have any hotspots here. Nope. So really, again, it's a case of looking at the menu options that are highlighted here, 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 and then the area of this particular menu here. In fact, I'm actually going to go and check that against our actual ECDIS system here. So let's go away and do that. So back on the ECDIS system, I'm going to take a look at chart selection. So first up, we've got range rings. General area there, that button. Then we've got man overboard down here. Nav tools, straight palette. Down there, we change the days there. And EBL, straight VRM. Okay, right, we might as well get back onto the course. Okay, now we've had a look at that, let's move on to click mark complete and move on to the next slide. Okay, slide 4, ENC custom options part 1 or 2. See, there's a few hotspots here. Firstly, IMO display categories and IMO display categories quick selection. Right, slide 5, ENC custom options part 2 of 2. And we've got custom display selection options and text display options. Right, JRC Presentation Independence of Data Introduction. The ECDIS display is the window through which the database ENC can be viewed. The independence of data is the concept that when an object is not displayed on the screen, it is still there and is able to trigger alarms. By interrogating the chart, information about the ENC can be viewed. The following information is provided. 1. Chart legend, chart type, name, agency code, PL version, edition and update number, format number, issue date, navigation purpose, compilation scale, horizontal datum, vertical datum, sounding datum, projection, depth units and height units. 2. Object information. 3. Update history. 4. Text and diagrams from file. Slide 6, ENC sub-information 103. Okay, so that's a list of object attributes, detailed description of attribute, object highlighted by selection. Again, this menu item here, S57/CMAP/ARCS information, has been highlighted by red box, so do pay particular attention to that. Slide 4, raster chart information 2 of 3. No hotspots on this one, but again, just look out for the different menu items that are being highlighted here. JRC Raster Chart Information Introduction. RNC or raster charts are available and have almost global coverage of all scales as shown above. They provide the obvious advantages of a familiar format to the mariner, but also a number of disadvantages. The RNCs are designed to be displayed at the same resolution as that which they are provided. Excessive zooming in or out of the image, the same image, seriously degrades the RNC image. RCDS allows charts of appropriate scale to be displayed. When the user wants to zoom in, then the larger scale chart will be displayed, and similarly on zooming out, a smaller scale chart will be used. Orientation of the RCDS display to other than north up, e.g. course up or route up, may affect the readability of chart text and symbols. If available on your system, we need to be able to demonstrate how to select RNC charts and utilise their information. If you have RNC charts installed and available, we need to learn how to review their updates. Slide 5, raster chart information, part 3 of 3. As always, just check for any hotspots, and if not, do sort of pay attention to the areas highlighted. Slide 9, logbook. And here we have up here. Let's wait for it to load. Main menu, and there's the logbook menu there, and here's the actual logbook once it loads. Right, so that's the end of Module 1 familiarisation, and as always, if you scroll down, select the first test. We'll just begin that test. Right, question 1. Where would you turn on the cat talks? I'm not going to be showing you the answers here, you'll have to go and obviously do that yourself. But where on this display can you select true motion? We have different what look like hotspots, but actually nothing appears. Just need to sort of make note of where they are and select the appropriate answer down here. Okay, moving on to navigational tools for Module 2. You'll see that all the slides here are already highlighted green. That is because I've already gone ahead and completed all the slides for the sake of the video. So we'll just start off on introduction here. Okay, JRC Navigational Tools Introduction. Navigational Tools is the specific menus where we need to look to add to our ENC chart. It ranges from being able to use an EBL or VRM to how we can quickly draw on the chart in the event of a man overboard. In Navigation Tools, we also look at how we define safe water, draw on the chart, and look at ways of fixing the vessel, or better put, proving GPS correct. Okay, slide 1, Navigational Tools. Have a look at the hotspots here. We've got range rings, man overboard, nav tool stroke palette 4, and EBL and VRM. Now we need to go away really and sort of confirm this with the actual electric system itself to make sure there's any kind of discrepancies and just sort of familiarise ourselves with the layout. Take a look at chart selection. So first up we've got range rings. There, that button. We've got man overboard down here. Nav tools, straight palette. Down there, we change the days there. And EBL, straight VRM. Okay, right, we might as well get back onto the course. Okay, JRC EBLs and VRMs introduction. We need to refresh ourselves on how we measure from A to B. The colours of the EBL and the VRM may vary depending upon S52 and the version number within a make and model. However, we will now look at where to access the EBL and VRM so that you can then go on to practice with this navigation tool on your actual ECDIS. Slide 2, EBLs and VRMs. Okay, we just have the one hot spot here by the looks of it. We've got offset options via right click, and this is demonstrating where, also what appears as a pop-up menu when you do select dropped EBL/VRM menu. And so as always, do pay attention to any red highlighted boxes, as this is relevant to the information on the screen. Okay, click on next slide. Okay, JRC Adding Information introduction. A clean chart is not adequate for navigation. The objective here is to introduce the concept of adding information to the chart on the ECDIS. The hotspots will show you where you can construct areas, lines, points and text by utilising system features to add additional information. And it will be good at this point to refresh yourself on how to make plot a fictional temporary chart amend. Okay, slide 3. Use a map adding information. So a few little hotspots here. We've got a selection of objects to add, circle object inserted, and edit manually inserted objects attributes. It is worth hopping onto your actual ECDIS system at this point just to confirm everything on here, just to really experiment yourself and familiarise yourself with it. As I say, I have completed these slides, so I don't have to wait, but you will have to wait the mandatory 10 to 20 seconds for each slide, really just allowing yourself to absorb all information on the screen. Come to JRC defining safe water introduction. The recommended calculation of safety depth is draft plus squat plus required underkeel clearance minus the height of tide, HAT. Safety contour is the next charted contour beyond the safety depth. For example, if the chart on display has 5 metre and 10 metre contours and you have set your safety depth at 6 metres, the 10 metre contour will be used as the safety contour. We now need to look at how we can view the safety contour. The safety contour is a key menu to understand, as it is the automatic alarm feature when standing into danger. Right, slide 4, defining safe water, part 1 of 2. There's a lot of information to take in here, so if we just really draw attention to the highlighted area here where we set our depth alarm, and we've also got quite a number of hotspots, so let's take a look at these. So number 1, shallow contour. We've got safety depth, safety contour, and deep contour here. Again, always worth checking actually on your ECDIS system itself. That really is the main purpose of these courses, to really familiarise yourself with your own ECDIS system. Okay, now we're looking at the safety, defining safe water. We've got here the shallow contour, safety depth and deep contour. And on the chart itself, we've got the deep contour, and the safety depth, and the shallow contour up here, and then the line showing here is the safety contour. Okay. Slide 5, soundings, part 2 of 2. Bold soundings, unsafe water, and grey soundings, safe water. Again, it's highlighting this pop-up menu here, view 1 and then sounding. Again, try it out yourself just to make sure that you understand how to get to that point of the menu. JRC position fixing introduction. The GPS position should not be relied upon. Prove it correct regularly using visual and radar means. We need to understand where the menu is to produce a fix. You may notice these introduction slides really kind of give an overview of what's coming up next, so really do pay attention to them and sort of have them in your mind when you view the forthcoming slides. Okay, let's wait for that to load. Right, slide 6, position fixing, part 1 of 4. Okay, we have one up here, we've got the main menu, and just lines of position, showing you with a pop out of LOP and where to create the LOP. Okay, slide 7, position fixing, part 2 of 4. Got a couple of hotspots here. Range and bearing of reference point. That's this pop up here. And lines of position, the lines shown along there. Again, really do go and check on your actual system itself, just to confirm all that. Slide 8, position fixing 3 of 4. We've just got a couple of menus here. The ownership strict track menu, and manually inserted DR position fix. You can see this menu here from the main menu goes to adjust and then into position. This website does work on phones and tablets. It is slightly different on a phone because of obviously the less space. We don't have these hotspots necessarily as they show here. They show there, and then the actual pop-up itself is listed beneath the image. But you can use your phone, use some kind of tablet to do this course. That way you can actually stand in front of your active system as you're doing it. Okay, so yeah, as I say, position fixing 4 of 4. I've got manually inserted EP position fix, and again this area here of the menu is being highlighted. Okay, that's the end of the module. Now what would happen if you clicked mark complete, automatically be taken onto the test rather, but as I say, I've already completed this, so I need to click on back to module. And once that loads, then I need to scroll down and just select the test for this particular module. Which is here, and again you can see I have already completed this, but let's just go through that now so you can see what the questions are. I won't be giving you the answers, that'll be cheating. So I'll just show you the questions themselves so you get an idea of what it is will be expected of you. Let's wait for that to load up there. Okay, so question 1. Which menu would you find the position fixing function? We've got ownership strict track, main, chart, or user map. And again, I'm not going to give you the answers, but once I do select it, I'm just going to click next. Right, question 2. Put the below in order for setting the active system in DR mode. Now, there's a number of these these questions throughout the course. Basically, what you need to do is just drag and drop these into the correct order, or the order that you feel is correct. And then once you've done that, click Finish Test. And again, I'm not going to give you the answers, so let's just do that now and click Next. Okay, Finish Test. I'm just waiting for my results. Okay, and I've got 2 out of 2, 100%, so that means I'm able to move on to the next module. You must complete all tests to 100% to be able to move on to each module. Okay, click here to continue. Okay, here we are at JRC Module 3, Route Planning. Now I haven't completed this one, so just to show you the difference, these are greyed out. We do need to click on to an introduction or the first slide of each module. Okay, JRC Merging Routes Introduction. To complete birth-to-birth planning, it is reasonable to assume that the navigator would actually create a series of shorter routes and then merge them together. For example, birth to pilot station and pilot to pilot station. This would allow the original birth to pilot routes to be used again as part of a different voyage plan. Okay, slide 1, route editor. Just got the one highlights hotspot here. Route menu, then showing us the graphic editor. Again, we need to hop onto our actual active system here just to confirm everything we're seeing there and to cross-reference it and really familiarise ourselves with it. Okay, we're just hopping back onto the JRC system itself to look at the route editor. And if we go up here to main menu, go to route planning, and we have table editor and graphic editor. As simple as that. JRC Route Safety Check Introduction. Before using a route for navigation, it must be checked for potential dangers. The system will only check within the parameters you have set either side of the navigation tracks for those dangers. Okay, and on to slide 2, route safety check. Let's wait for that to load. Right, so we have 3 hotspots here. We've got, again, let's wait for that to load there. Okay, well, visual indication of selected danger, list of route dangers, and route safety check. And you can see we need to wait for this timer to count down to 0 before we can click mark complete. In that time, it would be useful to actually go onto your ECDIS system and just confirm that. Right, now we're going to take a quick look at the route safety check. So yeah, first off, the route safety check itself. Up here, and we've got the visual indication of selected danger over here, and then let's bring up a list of route dangers. Just kind of all that area there. All right, we'll get back to the course. JRC route introduction. The principles of passage planning remain unchanged. The navigator must still research the route as normal and utilise all available charts and publications as necessary. The navigator must decide which route is to be taken. The fundamentals of passage planning remain the same: appraisal, planning, execution and monitoring. The appraisal and planning elements overlap, as do the execution and monitoring elements. Remember, a source data diagram or CAT-SOX must be considered during the appraisal. JRC adding information to route introduction. Once the route has been checked, the navigator will need to add supplementary information along the route, such as CTS, rudder angle, WO points and bearings, text information, tidal stream and information. He or she must be comfortable in how to highlight critical points and areas along the planned route. Of course, planned speed and waypoint numbers may not be displayed by default, and for berth-to-berth planning, we must be able to add to the chart. The next slide shows us where to do that. Slide 3, adding information notes, part 1 of 2. Okay, this is the menu that was talked about in the introduction there. Charts menu in the route editing mode. And we have marking chart highlighting, and then tidal stream mark there. Okay, I'll just mark that complete. Wait for that to load up for the next slide. Slide 4, adding route information notes, part 2 of 2. Now we've only got the one hotspot here, but just hover over that and it says tidal stream information added to the route. And again, it's showing us the pop-up menu there, and just again, familiarise yourself with that. Okay, now mark complete. Okay, slide 5, alternative route, part 2 of 2. Let's hover over the hotspot to learn more. Loading alternative route options, and again highlighting red here for the sake of this slide, where it is we need to be looking on the right hand column there. Okay, we'll just mark that complete. Okay, slide 5, alternative route, part 1 of 2. Okay, we've just got the one option here, route menu. I don't think there are any other hotspots here. But yeah, no, it's highlighting the create alternate route menu there. Okay, JRC import and export introduction. It is prudent to back up navigation routes routinely. There also may be a requirement to import a route. The next hotspots show where this is. Remember, always consider the risk of importing a virus when transferring data. Slide 7, export and import. Got the main menu, down to File Manager, and then once that's selected, this pops up, which is import or export from external media device. There's the option there, and you've got the two different columns showing the local disk and the external disk as well. Okay, that's the end of JRC Module 3 route planning. So you just need to scroll down and go on to the test here. Okay, JRC Test 3. Question 1. When in route planning mode, which menu do you select to add information and notes to the route? As before, I'm not going to give you the answers, but I'm just going to select the correct answer there and click Next. Question 2. When creating a route, where do you check the route for dangers? We need to just now look up here, reference it against the menu, and find the correct answer and select it down here. Click on Finish Test. Just waiting for my results. And you can see I've got 2 out of 2, 100%, which now means I'm able to move on to Module 4. So click here to continue. Here we're now on to JRC Module 4 Route Monitoring. As always, click on the first slide, the introduction. JRC Route Monitoring Introduction. After approving the plan and in preparation for C, the system needs to be set up for route monitoring. The display needs to change so we can see the key information we need without having to manipulate the screen whilst at C. A reminder of some of the abbreviations used in ECDIS that you may now see as you configure the screen. SMG, speed made good. DTG, distance to good. CMG, course made good. TTG, time to go. XTL, cross track limit. And XTD, cross track distance. Okay, slide 1, route monitoring. As we can see there, we've got activated route, route information panel, current loaded route, and down here, hiding away, is a track control system TCS bar. Okay, JRC safety frame introduction. One of the final elements we need to consider is the on-screen vessel history, pass track, vectors, presentation or display mode, and any other useful tools that can help monitor our passage better. As with the other modules, please now hover over the hotspots and ensure you know where these menus are in your ECDIS and are aware of what they should be set to in accordance with your own procedures. Slide 2, ownership display setting. Just the one hotspot here, we've got ownership / track menu. That's highlighting the settings, and this is the pop-up menu which appears when you select that. JRC alarms and warnings introduction. The final, many would say most critical menu to review when monitoring at sea is the ECDIS ability to look ahead automatically for you and alarm for any dangers. The parameters for the automatic live check will be documented on board. At this stage you need to access your SMS / procedures and ensure you can access the menu and set up correctly as you review the slide. Okay, slide 5, alarms and warnings, part 1 of 5. There's no hotspots here, just really need to look into this and absorb the information that's being taken, that's being shown here. And again, as always, get on your ECDIS system, take a look, and really try and familiarise yourself with these different options. Now we'll take a quick look at the alarms and warnings on the JRC. So we go down to alarm list, brings up this pop-up here. And we have different menu options. We've got alarm, system alarm status, system alarm log, nav alarm status, nav alarm log, and info / warning. Obviously it's worth just looking over all these to familiarise yourself with them. Alright, slide 5, alarms and warnings, part 2 of 5. Again, same thing, no hotspots, but really just look into this, read up on it, and check it yourself. Okay, slide 7, alarms and warnings, part 3 of 5. Right, slide 8, alarms and warnings, part 4 of 5. And finally, slide 9, alarms and warnings, part 5 of 5. Okay, that's the end of module 4 of route monitoring. So just, as always, slide down, scroll down rather, and select test 4 route monitoring. Just wait for that to load. Right, okay, question 1. When the HD sensor fails and turns red in the sensor indicator window, which of the following alerts will you receive? Caution, warning, alarm, or prompt? So I'm going to select the correct answer and click on next. Question 2. Which menu option would you select to set up the ship's danger detection alarms? Again, just check up here, whichever number you think is the correct answer, select the answer down here. Okay, and finish test, just waiting for my results. And again, got 2 of 2, 100%, so I'm now able to continue to module 5. Okay, on to JRC Module 5, Chart Updating. And as always, start off with the first slide. This one is Manual Corrections Introduction. You may be expected to show evidence that you can amend an ENC chart with either a local warning or temporary correction. Even if this is not your routine role on board, it is reasonable to expect all the bridge officers to be able to amend a chart with a local warning, just as they did on paper. So take some time when reviewing the next slide and practice on your actual ECDIS the ability to add navigation points. Slide 1, Manual Corrections, Part 1 of 2. I just got the one hotspot here. Chart menu, it shows you how to get to the manual update option. Okay, slide 2, Manual Corrections, Part 2 of 2. We've got Manual Correction Object Options, adding manual correction notes, and manual object inserted. Okay, so mark that complete. JRC Chart Catalogue and Management Introduction. Your vessel may have a planning station or even an external software system connected to your ECDIS that allows you to review both the electronic charts available and those you have installed. The navigator will review the passage plan and ensure he or she has adequate charts of the correct scale and review elements of potential RCDS mode, which may therefore require a paper backup depending upon flag. Slide 3, Chart Catalogue. Just highlighting here the visual display of the chart boundaries and again the menu options there. JRC Chart Permits Introduction. Your charts require permits to be installed. The following slide shows where this happens. Take time to open the menu and read the options in case you're required to do this one day. Slide 4. Chart Permits Part 1 of 4. So we have no hotspots here, but it's just highlighting the chart portfolio menu option there. Okay, just mark that complete. Slide 5, Chart Updating Part 2 of 3. So you need to go into Tool and then Option to bring up the menu. Slide 6, Chart Permits Part 3 of 3. Let's go the S63, so okay, VCS, and import cell permit. Installing new permits, and then down here, permits already installed. JRC Chart Updating Introduction. Similar to the installing permits, you need to be aware of how you install the actual chart. Remember, this ACAT is designed to point you in the right direction of your actual ECDIS system and to prove you are refreshed in these basic menus and concepts. Slide 7, Chart Updating Part 1 of 2. So this is just highlighting chart portfolio and then create. Okay, slide 8, Chart Updating Part 2 of 2. Got a list of chart updates from external media device, and then import from external media device. Finally, we're just going to look at chart updating. So we go along to the main menu, chart, and then down to chart portfolio, and create. I'm going to warning to say that it may take a while to import. It won't do on our system because we don't actually have any to import, but if we did, they would now be brought up on the screen. Just wait for that to initialize. So OK that. And then, yeah, as I say, this would then show a list of chart updates. We then click on import, which unfortunately is grayed out here, import from external media device. OK, we'll go back. Slide 10, Chart Update Spot Check Part 2 of 3. Recent summary of chart updates and visual indication of highlighted chart update. Slide 11, Chart Update Spot Check Part 3 of 3. ENC cell information and description of update history to the ENC cell. Okay, that should take us to the end of the module. Let's wait for that to load. As we can see, all the slides have been completed. It's now a case of going on to the 5th and final test, chart updating. Okay, question 1. In which order should the below chart information need to be installed first? Drag and drop the answer. Drag and drop the answers in the correct order. Okay, got update disk, permit, and base disk. Just a case of dragging these around into the correct order. Question 2. Where can we go to view the last chart updates applied on the system? There's either 1, 2, 3, or 4. In case of scrolling down, selecting the correct answer there. Okay, just waiting for my results through, and it should have 2 of 2, 100%, which now means I'm able to complete the course, which means the module and the test and the course are now complete. Okay, that's it. And you can see here we've now got the JRC 2016 ECDIS ACAT certificate, and when we click on that we're able to then download that or print it, and have a copy of the certificate. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.